Welcome back to Trending. I'm Jeff Smith, filling in today for Meredith Ross. Joining me now in studio is i24, Vice President of Cronus Cyber Technologies. They have a special kind of patented autonomous penetration test. They test the vulnerability of networks and computers. Hackers, of course, around the world are testing these networks for weak spots that they could use to perhaps bring down banks, bring down governments, bring down infrastructure. So what is it that exactly you guys do, the technology you've created, and why is it important?
All right. Thank you, Jeff, for having me. The cybercrime is a big global issue that accounts for about $2 trillion in damage. It's a global issue. All organizations, big and small, but mostly big, are victimized for cybercrime, especially financial institutions and healthcare institutions. And currently what organizations do is they use very good cyber technologies, and then on top of that, every year they have what we call penetration tests, which is done usually by human ethical hackers who try to hack into the organization, then give you an annual report on what you should do to fix those vulnerabilities. The problem is that it's limited in time and scope, and usually the network changes continuously. It's cloud-based. And
they're relying on the time and ability of humans to do it. Right.
It's very limited in time. Usually they have about a few days or a week to do it, and it's very limited. What we do is we install what we call cyber bots, or Cybot, in the infrastructure itself as a virtual machine. It scans 24/7 your entire network, finds vulnerabilities, and on top of that it shows you a live map of what we call attack path scenarios into your critical infrastructure, so you can stop it in real time with one click.
And this is an Israeli company?
Correct.
With this technology, but is it being used outside of Israel, and how is it being used?
Right. It's being used with banks and insurance companies and hospitals in Israel and Europe, mostly UK and Germany, and now we're going to launch in the US as well, following a third round of investments. So it's being used globally, replacing in some cases human ethical hackers and using simply these Cybots.
When do you hope to be in America?
This year. So now we're raising the third fund, and by the end of this year, we're going to launch in the U.S.
And, especially in the month of April, especially this week, in the past, cyber hacking has been a problem in Israel in years past. You mentioned it's not as big of an issue as it was, but it's still a problem.
Right. So there is, the organization Anonymous, they have a yearly, what they call Operation Israel, where they ask people to hack into a specific list of organizations, mostly government institutions, but also banks and private companies that they feel are important to hack into. It's diminished by 90% since 4 years ago, so now it's down to about 600 hacktivists, they call them. And they're not very successful in these attacks because we're monitoring them very close, and we know exactly what they're going to do and how.
All right. i24, thank you so much with Cronus Cyber Technologies. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.